Hi, welcome back to the basement. I'm Steve Lewis. Today we wind up the conversation with David Beard of the Endless Summer Quarterly and Giggens of the Great Giggens YouTube channel. Once again, the conversation meanders a little bit, but focuses mainly on the Beach Boys 1985 album, which is also the focus of the new edition, Summer 2023 of the Endless Summer Quarterly. I'll get right back to it because I want to get as much of this in as possible, and we'll just wrap it up at the end. Please enjoy more with Giggens and David Beard.
This particular album is in the 3 summer album set for me. It's all summer long, summer days, summer nights, and this album are albums that I can play during the summer and feel the summer in it.
Yeah.
But the the two from the 60s are so overtly summer, right? Because they tell you right in the packaging, this is your summer album. This one does not do that because it only does say the Beach Boys. It's open for interpretation. Right? You just, whatever you get from it when you put it on.
Yeah, I get that summer feel on this record as well. It's, for me, I think it's not subliminal, but it's more like in the back of your head. Like something back there says, oh, it's summer, without being like, summer, you know? The album cover, I like how they hide the beach inside the letters of the Beach Boys. Like the idea of sand and surf is just ingrained in their name. And again, it had been 5 years since an album came out. So like, this was new for a lot of people. So, oh, this is a sort of a surfy California band. That's cool. I'll check them out. And for a lot of other people, it would have been like, wow, I haven't bought a Beach Boys album since Pet Sounds. I think they were trying to target new audiences, old audiences, without slapping you over the head, being like, it's summer, remember summer? It's just like, you like being outside, don't you? This song's kind of about that. Oh, sunsets? This one mentions that, maybe. It's up to you. Kind of like that.
I like that about it, and I definitely agree. When you mention the beach, though, I've said this before, this beach is weird to me. It looks like a beach, not that you party on or surf on. It looks like a beach you need to be rescued from after a shipwreck.
It's from Maine.
I always thought that was such a weird...
That was the following year when they did Rock and Roll the Rescue. That must have been...
Yeah.
Right,
right.
They must have come... Yeah. Picked up the fans from that little remote... With the life raft.
Right. Yeah, I just always thought it was a very strange looking beach.
It is. Yeah, you would think there'd be more yellow or sun tones in it.
Fronds. Yeah, sunny tones. I mean, it looks like it's covered in kelp and
it does. And then the
algae everywhere.
Even it's getting late picture sleeve. If you guys look at that. That's got more of the same things. It's still hard to make out what it is exactly you're looking at because of where the lady is diving in the A of late. Whatever's above her is naturally in the sky, but you have no idea what it is. It looks
You know what it is? It's like several different pictures jammed into one. There's palm trees, there's a wave, there's the girl diving or falling. I don't know. There's a building in the background. Maybe she's escaping. Maybe she left the album cover.
She's trying. She just got off. She happened to have a swim cap with her and was able to escape the album cover.
She saw the first beach and they were about to land. She was like, no, I'm going to wait till this next beach comes up. And this is the one she went for. Oh, this is second person. This is second person on this. Holy moly. In the yes, up in the Beach Boys.
I don't think I've ever noticed that.
It's new to me. I just happened to see it. There's 2 people. The story continues.
Maybe it's the 2 people from the videos.
Oh, she's surfing. Yeah,
is he wearing a little dance thing? That
is he in a bubble?
Yeah, in a bubble.
That was funny too. The It's Getting Late video. It was funny that they managed to continue the story from Get You Back to It's Getting Late in the videos. And I thought that was clever, but I love how at the very end of it, it's almost like the Charlton Heston moment in Planet of the Apes. Brian comes out and he picks up a seashell and he hears California Calling. It's in the seashell. It's not going to be on a single. It's in the... But I thought that was kind of neat. Like he's getting a call. It's the sea. The ocean's calling to him. So I loved the visualization of what they were doing. Then She Believes in Love Again comes out as a single. And it's a lovely song. It's a lovely recording. But the picture sleeve doesn't do anything to get anybody to buy it. The picture sleeve is so plain. I wish they'd used another group shot that Harry Lang did. They did a few photos where Bruce was in the front.
Put a picture of him on there. It's just, come on, no brainer.
So She Believes in Love Again should have been the B-side to California Calling.
I agree. I agree.
Or
As opposed, I mean, commercially, as opposed to that being an A side, California Calling should
or
have been.
because of the hype sticker, then
Yes.
maybe you pair It's Getting Late with She Believes in Love Again. Because it's the two love songs, they're kind of the same vibe. And who knows how good California Calling would have been, but as a single. But I think they definitely missed a mark there. Put California Calling with It's Okay on the backside of that. That would have
Yeah.
made it a little bit more.
I can see that.
It definitely seems to me it would have had more commercial potential than
Yeah.
She Believes in Love Again, which is a track I like, but I feel like I could have heard California Calling on the radio more likely than She Believes in Love Again.
This one's Demonstration Not for
Is it-
Sale. It's She's in Love Again twice. They're both the same in stereo. On the record, it's just called She Believes in Love, not again.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah, that they're consistent with the title.
Does it just say again on the other side?
Yeah, the other side's again. Right.
They ran out of room, so they.
Must have been for a radio station because someone wrote October of '85.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
So it must have been for a radio station.
And that's a good fall song. I mean, again, but they.
Yeah.
Is another thing great about this album is the technology was much better for this album than it had been leading up to it. But there's still not a whole lot of vocal layering. There are photos in the new edition, thanks to Steve Levine, of them actually singing around a microphone together. That's something Steve Levine really wanted to do, is really catch that live Beach Boys sound around the microphone. That was a big deal to him. The album is significant, and again, depending on whether or not you like it, so it's very subjective, but this is the first time the Beach Boys allowed an outside producer to come in and do their album. Like even MIU, they did use it raw and Outback, but he had been a Beach Boys band member. You know, he was already kind of in the inner circle. This was different, and it was Carl and Brian first, who in June of July were over at Red Bus Studio in London, who were kind of coming in and interacting with Steve and getting to know Steve. Again, thanks to Bruce Johnston, because Bruce had worked with Steve on the Sailor material. You know, for those who will read this issue, they'll get this story on Steve and how he kind of got into this place of being in demand, and then he goes to produce Culture Club, and it's really kind of thanks to Bruce Johnston. Boy George does bring a song to the album, which is Passing Friend, and it's probably my least favorite track. I like the sentiment of the song. When I listen to it, it sounds like Culture Club to me. It sounds like something that would have very easily fit on any one of their albums of the time. And having said that, I'll also say, because I talked to Steve about it, Church of the Poison Mind, the bridge in that song, it sounds so Beach Boysy to me. And he compared it, what was it, a Mamas and Papas Beach Boys Fifth Dimension mashup. And I thought, okay, then I'm not imagining things, you know, because just the way the voices, ba, 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 you know, it's just so purposely up in the air and My Beautiful Balloon, you know, it's the Fifth Dimension, Mamas, Beach Boys. It's beautifully done. So I like what Steve Levine did on the 85 album in terms of vocal arrangements, and having them sing around a microphone, I thought was really, really smart and the right thing to do for that group. They needed, as Giggens points out, you go that long without an album, in between albums, and then you're dealing with new technology, who I'm pretty sure even Carl had trouble grasping, but he went after it. He embraced it. The other guys had no, and I'm sure, knowing Mike Love as I do, he could probably care less. It's like, where do you know, stand me next to the microphone, tell me when to sing, and I'll sing my part, and then I'm gone. I've done my, you know, I'm good. See you later. So, you know, Mike put all his energy into the performances, you know, on tour. Man.
Can I pose another question about the album cover to you guys that I've wondered since day one? What is the Keeping the Summer Alive photo contest? These photos say they're the winners of the Keeping the Summer Alive photo contest. And there's no mention of a photo contest on the Keeping the Summer Alive album.
I think that, and I don't know if I'm correct, but that may have happened through the Beach Boys fan club newsletter.
That's what I thought.
Oh,
yeah.
That's probably
seems to me.
Right.
And then they may have just had that space. Again, it's so weird how they use space on their albums. You would think they just the way they use the back cover with all that white space, you would think that they just, we don't need to fill up this top row with photos. We can just leave white space. We can format the text a little different. But for some reason they jam it full. Just, but
It's funny about the CD booklet version, or the pictures are the colors are so bad, you can't see anything.
oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wow. Yeah.
I don't know if that guy, actually, I have the other one.
Okay.
Did they correct that with the twofer? Let's see.
I think so. I think it's just they're like the original sleeve.
Yes. Much easier to see in the
Yeah,
two.
yeah,
But that's actually better than they are on the vinyl because
yeah.
I
Yeah,
like the fact that they use more of a paper rather than that thermal stuff for the inner
right.
sleeve with most places. But it does make the graphics a little muddier. Anyway, I just always thought that they were fulfilling some promise that they made way back in 1980 that you'll get your picture in the next Beach Boy album. Oh, we
That
got
no,
to get
that
this picture in
that
the
could be, and
album.
again, I think it could have been through the Beach Boys fan club newsletter, and then they were waiting until that next album, and then that thing. But yeah, I think that's where that came from.
That would make sense.
Yeah, that makes
Cool.
sense.
Thanks so much. It's been just fantastic talking to both you guys. I admire your work with Endless Summer Quarterly so much, David. You've got a great channel, Giggens. I look forward to your episodes every time. As I said off camera earlier, I would love to go through that record collection and see what's in there every time. Every time I watch one of your episodes, I bet he's got some good stuff back there.
It's a green
Road
screen.
road trip.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so the next edition of ESQ will be coming out in the fall, probably late August, September, and I'm gonna have more than I know what to do with, I think, if I have my way. And if that's the case, then I'm gonna be probably bringing some exclusive content to the ESQ website,
Cool.
so that it'll just point to what's in the magazine, and hopefully that will fill in more gaps, because it's interesting how much stuff I've stockpiled. I'll be interviews with if people don't have that issue, it'll be available for individual purchase on Friday, June 9th on the ESQ website, which is esquuarterly.com. You just click on the ESQ store button at the top of the site, and that'll be the first edition you'll see. And as it says in that edition, I have interviews with Jeffrey Foskett already completed about his working on that album and that timeline. He doesn't just talk about that album, he talks about other recordings around that timeline that he was a part of. And also, I have a great interview with Randy Bishop, who goes by Rand Bishop these days, and he wrote Chasing the Sky. And I'll be interviewing Malcolm Leo, director Malcolm Leo,
Nice.
an American band. He has sent me so many behind the scenes photos. I can't believe it. It's just,
Wow.
I'm like, because that's my thing. That's what I explain to people, is that's what I love doing, is I love getting that interview content, just like I did with this recent issue, and being able to combine the photos with the stories is, to me, really the way that you can bring people in, because I'm bringing myself in when I put these together. Right, I'm the one doing the interview, but at the same time, when I get to do the layout and put the pictures, like if somebody's talking about something specific, and I can put a photo of something where I'll be talking to Malcolm. In the case of Malcolm Leo, I'll be talking about. Oh, Steve, hold that up again. Hold that exact page up again. It's a great example. The photo of Brian on the right-hand side there, on that spread right there, Steve Levine is talking about that day when Brian comes into the studio. If I can sync photos up with what the person's talking about, that's my favorite thing to do, because it's not just more informative, but it's also a little bit more intimate.
Yeah. Well, and you don't see a lot of photos of this period. I mean, I was just impressed that there are, I just hadn't seen many photos of this period, certainly not of them in the studio. So that was great. And I, as you might know, really appreciate a good deep dive with a lot of information. And that's what we got here. So thanks. Very much appreciated by a lot of Beach Boy fans, myself included.
Absolutely, man.
Thanks.
Well said.
Great.
Well,
Well, great talking to you
this.
guys. Thanks. And hope we can do this again
Absolutely.
sometime.
I'd love it.
So that'll wind up the conversation with David Beard and Giggens. And before we go, I just wanted to thank David and Giggens one more time for their generosity with their time and their knowledge, and for allowing me to present this on my channel. It is much appreciated. Thank you very much, guys. It was a blast talking to you. I hope we can do it again sometime soon. And on behalf of myself, and I think many Beach Boy fans, I wanted to say to Giggens, please keep up the great work on your channel. It is much enjoyed and much appreciated. And as a reminder, the summer 2023 issue of the Endless Summer Quarterly is now available for individual sale on the Endless Summer Quarterly website, which is esquarterly.com. And in the fall, we'll get the second half of the in-depth look at the Beach Boys' 1985 album. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And here's a little behind the scenes at the Beach Boys basement. Whenever I've got a book or record that I'm going to hold up, I obviously need to set it on something where I can reach it. What I use is one of these two folding sort of tray tables, but those don't get it up quite high enough for me to reach without bending over. So on top of that, I put one of my two file boxes, which are full of back issues of the Endless Summer Quarterly. So there's yet another great use for the Endless Summer Quarterly, on top of it being entertaining, full of great news and information that you probably will never find anywhere else. Hope that doesn't ruin the magic of the program, like people thought some sort of Beach Boy fan Oompa Loompas were handing me stuff or anything. But anyway, I thought I'd pass that along. Thanks for all the great comments that have come in, particularly on these episodes. Please keep them coming. Next week, we'll talk about some other Beach Boy related topic. Looking forward to that. And please hit like and subscribe if you haven't done that. Always appreciate it. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. Bye.